Hello, hello. I'm so excited. Um, I'm finally going live after I did a live before, but this is my second live, and I'm very excited to do this. Although this is different. uh, I usually come on my Facebook page on video form, but I wanted to try it out and see if I liked it. So my name is Pat Romaine, and my website is patromaine.com. I'm really excited to hold this Facebook Live or Facebook Mention. And today, as you see in the title, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to rise fearlessly and bring your ideas into reality. I see that someone joined, so I'm so excited. I would like for you to put your name or say hi or something. Hi, Jamia. Thank you for the love and the support. So Jamia is one of my mastermind buddies, and I'm very happy to have her here. I actually had the idea to talk about this last weekend after holding my first live event. It was a small, intimate event, and here in Montreal. And I had this idea when I saw the transformation with the ladies that were actually here, the ladies that were participating. So I wanted to bring this on to online because this is where I usually work. This is where I usually share. And this is a part of me that I usually don't share. I usually share a lot about systems, a lot about launching, a lot about what it goes into creating a successful launch and the steps, kind of robotic steps. But because I really enjoyed the experience and working with these wonderful ladies in that capacity, I was like, why not? Why not put this on online too? So the women who came were very ready to share their desire, to kind of go deeply in what they're passionate about and what they can accomplish with their lives. And they were actually scared to speak about what they wanted most. And they had no idea how they could take that little inkling in their heart, that little idea, and then bring it to life. So first, if you don't know who I am, and if you've seen my Facebook page but it's kind of doesn't make any sense to you yet, I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Pat Romaine. Like I said, I'm a launch and leadership coach. And for the past 7 years, I've helped hundreds of business owners across the globe, because I work online, launch their programs, services, online businesses, put systems together. And the whole purpose for that is for them to earn more money online. But what I've realized in working with these businesses and these people and these brands, especially when it comes to brands like, people who are authors, coaches, mentors, who their brand is themselves, that releasing a new idea into the world is the most vulnerable thing that you can do. It's about being willing to be seen, be willing to just put yourself out there no matter what. And it's scary. It's scary, and it's always scary. However many times that you do it, it's scary. So I'm super passionate about helping women specifically uncover their mission and thrive as leaders. So I help these women achieve the success that they feel that they have inside themselves with that idea, by helping them with, banishing self-doubt, and help them uncover that inner compass, because it's there, so that they can create that beautiful business or that beautiful life or that beautiful book or whatever it is, by trusting who they are and taking the steps forward. So, and I know that online it can get really confusing. There's a lot of noise, there's everything coming at you. And going inward is not necessarily, and even offline, going inward is not necessarily something that they teach you, something in school, for example, or something that, is as valued as putting, things out there and just going at being successful doing the quote unquote things that we learn in school or that we see on TV or that are acceptable to society for us to be successful. So this is who I am. I'm a coach, and I help bring all of this that is inside outside. Yeah, so the how I look at an idea and then bring it out into reality. It's all you're always gonna gonna be scared. But over the past 8 years, this is exactly what I've been doing for myself and with my clients. I've been able to take my own ideas and bring them into reality with the power of the internet, obviously, by sticking to what I am inspired to do and thinking about the people I can help. So that's basically what I do. I think about the people I'm helping. I think about, I think less of myself and more of what it is that I'm trying to do so that I'm not stuck. Because if you think of yourself, for example, me coming on live here is not something that I usually do. I actually never do that. I do my videos, which is the extent of my vulnerability of putting myself out there. And that's a lot too. And, being vulnerable, putting yourself out there. If you think about yourself, you're really going to do it. Thinking about people that you can help, thinking about your family, thinking about the kids that you have or don't have, or just the people that you're going to help with whatever thing that you're putting out there just gives you the drive to put it out there. So I wanted to give you 3 tips actually to help you rise fearlessly with your own ideas. And these are things that I apply to whatever idea or little thing that comes into my mind or my heart that I want to put out there. So the first thing is to dare to live your dream. So most of the people that I speak to that have an idea, and that's how it starts for me too, they have like a vague idea at the beginning or even a feeling or some type of inspiration of, something that they want to do, but they can't quite put their finger on it. But they feel like, okay, this is something, let's just, either they just put it aside and like, okay, it's kind of crazy, or they decide, okay, this is something. But even when they put it aside, and this has happened to me a lot, even when you put it aside, it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back over and over and over again until it never stops coming back. That's the thing. And that's when you know the idea is for you, the idea is here to stay. So I say to dare to live your dream or your idea is by doing it, by testing it. Because right now, it's just an inkling of a little thing. And you kind of know what it is, but you don't actually know. So testing it, whatever has come into your mind, put it out, by doing something. So one thing that I did, I think it was 2 years ago, I volunteer at my daughter's school. And for me, this came with the idea that I wanted to help kids with their reading skills. This is something that I'm very passionate about. For me, as a little girl, reading loving to read came really late. Like I was probably 16 when this came. But when I discovered it, boom, the world opened up, my imagination. And I remember the time that it happened. That's around the time that I decided that I wanted to kind of learn other languages. I had already learned English a little bit, but that's when I was like, oh my God, because French is my first language. I have to start with that. And I was like, oh my God, I have to be able to speak to people. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to learn to speak English really well, and I need to learn to speak Spanish really well, and whatever. And Portuguese is my next language that I want to speak. But going back to my idea that I was like, that's something I want to share with kids. I already shared that with my own kids, albeit it's a struggle because they haven't, they're still very young and they still haven't fell in love with reading yet. But this is something that we do as a family and we've been doing since they were little. I always bring them to the library or local library. We spend like a day, we choose books, and we chat with other families and things like that just to make it fun. I read to them and things like that. And I was like, I want to share that with other kids. I want to share that with other families. And that's when I decided to volunteer. And I still volunteer 2 years later. I still volunteer at my daughter's school at her library. And what I realized that for me, it was a passion, about sharing ideas, a passion of, seeing the faces of the kids when you read them a story, seeing them develop, because 2 years later, I'm still with the same class, develop their reading skills, and now they're in third grade. So from first grade to third grade, it really developed. And just being witness to that. And what I did with that idea in that test is after I created a little workbook for myself, and then I shared it online, actually, this workbook on how this all happened, how this all unfolded. So testing your idea with a simple thing, like whatever you feel inspired, that's gonna bring your idea to a little bit closer to you, do that. So that's what that's how I can explain it. Usually, that's where you find the alignment, and then the bigger plan unfolds. So for me, it was about just going to the school and saying, okay, I want to help, I want to do this, and them saying yes, and then me doing it, and then 2 years later, there's a whole program at the school where parents come and help. I didn't, start the program. The school saw that this was something that was great, so they just ran with it. So it doesn't mean that you're gonna take the idea and run with it. It depends on how it unfolds, and it depends on how you want it to unfold, and if whatever you want to do with it. But taking the step and testing it is where it's all gonna kind of lay out for you. So the second thing I want to share is dare to share your dream. So, by sharing your desire, by sharing what you dream about, by sharing what you want to accomplish, that little inkling of an idea, chances are you'll find the support that you need. I can take that example again about me going to the school. I kind of really didn't know what it was that I want to help with. I knew I wanted to help kids with their reading skills. I knew that I wanted to help in a capacity, but I didn't know it was going to be at the library. That's one thing, of the school library. I didn't know it was going to be so well received, first of all. And I really didn't know. I just went and I was like, okay, I can do this. And that was it. And it all kind of fell together, me by sharing my idea with the school principal, by sharing my idea with other parents. So I also want to give you an example of one of the ladies that came to my event 2 Saturdays ago, or last Saturday. And we were kind of deep diving into what their passions were, what their desires were, and what was stopping them and stuff like that. And everybody was a little bit, okay, my passion is this, but I don't know exactly. So, that's when I shared the testing out. So that's, they left with that. But something else happened really quickly, and I don't really see that happening quickly for everyone, but really quickly, one of the participants, it came out that she wanted to create a nonprofit, and she had no idea, like at the beginning, that's how it was gonna unfold, or her idea was gonna unfold like this. For her, she was just she shared her passion for helping because I live in Canada, and helping different cultures kind of mingle and learn about each other. Because she's from one culture and her boyfriend is from another culture, and their kids, when they have them, are gonna inherit these two cultures, and she sees that not these two cultures don't mesh so much. So she's like, oh, this is something that I'm very passionate about, and very passionate about sharing my culture with these people and them with me and yours with mine. And she wants kids to have that open-mindedness. And she's like, oh, I can do things around that. I can do things, I can create a nonprofit where I can do projects that kind of help kids discover other cultures. So it kind of all unfolded in one afternoon for her, because she sat down and she also shared with another participant who was kind of asking her questions, and she was answering these questions, and kind of the other, and I didn't want to intervene because that's something that I saw that they kind of collaborated to bring this into life. And when was it? Sunday, right after it, because the event was Saturday, and then Sunday, one of them texted me, is like, okay, we're gonna work together to make this happen. And I was like, wow. And like, yeah, this is how it's gonna go. And we're already Googling on how to create a nonprofit, and we have no idea, but this is happening. And I'm sure it's gonna take a while for the idea or whatever it is developed together on Saturday, and could take a year, it could take 2 years to actually be a full nonprofit. It could take 6 months, who knows? But the fact that she shared with that other person, and that person was like, oh, I have a couple of skills, I know a couple of people, I can answer these questions for you, why don't we work together? And that kind of manifested the idea of the nonprofit and brought it to reality. So for me, getting the support is crucial for that idea to kind of bubble out. Yeah, I know, right? It's crucial to get. It's like having a little nest for your idea, because it can't just, if it stays, you put it in your notebook and you put it in your mind, chances are it's going to disappear. Just reaching out to the people who you think you feel safe with at first, because I know putting your idea out there can be scary, and if you know that you're going to get rejection from someone, that's just not going to help you in any way. You're probably going to be like, okay, I'm just crazy, let me just shut this down. So choosing people that you're safe with, choosing people that let you be you, choosing people that let you just bring whatever you have in your heart and your desires to the table without judgment, and then them saying, okay, let's see what that looks like. Asking you questions and digging deeper with you. These are the people that you have to surround yourself with when you have a little inkling of an idea. And for me, these are my mastermind sisters. Jamia is here. And even when I had, like, even if I have an idea that really isn't it's in my head or my heart, and I don't know how to express it, and I just start talking about a whole bunch of things, they still listen. They still kind of repeat whatever they understood from what I said to me, so that however it makes sense for them, they just give it back to me. And that helps a lot. Talking to about your idea to a coach, talking to my husband also is a really big thing. And talking to my husband, I know how he can support me and I know how he cannot. And that's another thing to make the distinction, because my mastermind sisters, I know that they have like this whole container for me. My coach, I know that she has this whole container, and this is what I do for my clients too. This whole container to support you, and you kind of feel like wrapped up in a blanket. And it takes a special kind of person to do this, and you don't have to expect it from everyone. For example, with my husband, I know what type of container he has for me, and expecting him to kind of speak about the feminine and the masculine and things like that, I know that's not gonna happen. So I know what I can come to, what ideas, and he has his own ways of kind of bringing his ideas to reality also. And the other day I was talking to a friend of mine, who's also, and I call her my muse because she's also someone, whenever I talk to her, something happens, some type of magic happens. And I was telling her about how my husband expressed a couple of things to me and how it was very masculine, the success, the, be aggressive and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's really not me. And, I accept him for the way that he shows up in the world, the way that he accepts me for the way that I show up in the world. So just to say that everyone, and that's why you need to talk to a couple of people. That's why you need a couple of different containers to hold your idea. So, it might not be just one person. It might be a group of people. It might be this and that person, from this side and from that side. You never know. But putting it out there, and sharing it with someone or a few people, key people that that you can share with. So, making sure of that you can give your heart to, because basically that's what you're doing when you're putting your little idea or desire out there. So the third thing that I wanted to share with you is to dare to make a plan. And I know that right now, with your little inkling of an idea or desire, you might think that, okay, I don't have a plan. Like a full-blown plan, I don't have it. A map, I have no idea what to do. But after you've done the first two things that I said, after you've, lived it and tested it a little bit, after you've shared, and you can swap it, you can share first and then test it second. Just sharing it kind of makes it real also to other people. After you do the first two things, you have a couple of things that you can write down, or even the possibility of what could be a plan. It doesn't have to be a full-blown plan. It could be one sentence. It could be one thing. But writing down, putting in writing, is a great way to help us as human beings organize our goals, organize our ideas, organize our desires. Because for me, it always comes in as a feeling first, a feeling of what I want to do and what I want to give, a feeling of how I want to feel when I do these things, and how I want other people to feel. And then it's really hard to take a feeling and put it into words. So that's why I developed the first two steps for myself, because that way it become more, the feeling becomes an idea, the idea then can become a plan. And just a couple of things, a couple of sentences, writing it down, it makes you be able to organize it and then inch into implementation. So it doesn't have to be a full-blown plan. It doesn't have to be a map out of your business plan or anything like that. So even if it's a small inkling of an idea, write it down, make a tentative plan, and then you can come back to it. What I found really works for me is always coming back to it. Coming back to it is exactly what I need. And usually I come back to it like at odd hours, odd hours of the morning or night, where I wake up at 2 a.m. like, oh my God, and I have to write it. And that's, however it happens to you, if you're in the shower and then you have to run out of the shower because you have to write it, that's how, however it comes out, just take it, run with it. And then you can make a full-blown plan afterwards. And I know it's different for everyone on how they do it, but for me, this is how it really, this is how it works. This is how my life works, actually. It always comes out as a feeling first. And I was even thinking about, everything that I've accomplished in my business, everything that I've accomplished when it comes to things that I want to give, the energy that I want to feel, it always starts with this feeling, and then the idea, and then the testing, and then planning. So this is my longest video or live or whatever ever. I'm usually not someone who like goes on and spears on talking, but I really wanted to share this here because this is something that I wanted to document, or this is the first inkling of my idea of something that I want to put together. So putting it here is my way of starting my plan. So I hope these 3 tips helped you today, or they're gonna, you wrote it down. Hi, Amelia. You wrote them down. And if you didn't, that's fine, because if you put your name and email, or if you message me, I can send you a document that I'm gonna create after this live with the steps and with some examples, and for you to have. So just send me a message on Facebook Messenger, or email me, put your name and email here, or email me at pat@patromain.com, and I'll be able to send you that document. So the thing that I wanted to mention also is, before I go, is that, I know that when you have dreams, because we all have dreams, we all have desires, we all have things that we want to do, but we think they're not possible because, well, this is not me. That's what we tell ourselves. Or life, I have these kids, I have to go back in school, drop to school, come back and get, and lunch boxes to do, and husband to do breakfast, and, just try to do this, try to do that. I have that business. I have, things that I have employees, if you have employees, or I am an employee, I have this corporate job, and, I'm a supervisor at this place, and I have things that I have to do that are very concrete. And this dream, you put it on a shelf. You feel a desire that you want to share something by writing a book. You want to share, your life's work. You just want to put one little idea into the world to serve, but you feel like because it's not concrete, because it's not something that they tell us to do, it's like they don't teach you that in graduate school, whatever. It feels like, oh, okay, I can put it aside. But I think that our desires are here for a reason. I think that if they are there, if you feel it, if you feel like you have to, like, it keeps coming back, to write that novel, maybe to create that nonprofit, like the lady who attended my event, because she did share to me that this is something that she's been wanting for a while, not in the nonprofit per se, but that feeling of helping, of intercultural exchange and things like that. They come back, these feelings, and putting them on a shelf, I think it does a disservice to everyone else who might be needing this thing. And that's how it all happens. That's how you sharing your idea, that's how we get to the next level of, as a world, as a community, as people, as humans, we get to that exchange of energy, that you help me, I help you, to get to be better humans, to be to open our minds up to grow, for example. So if you have that desire, if you have that inkling of an idea, and you don't know what to do with it, it's been there for a while. So go ahead and look at those steps and see how you can incorporate that process into your own, and make it your own. And if you have questions, just email me, pat@patromain.com. I'll be happy to help you with that. And yeah, so thank you so much, Jamia. Thank you, Muriel, for being here. And anybody else who's going to watch the replay. And see you next time.